Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 629 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we'll be chatting with comedian Rob Kemp all about his latest work. We'll have a bit of a natter with Cheryl Hole, who's going to be giving us a few tips when it comes to getting back on the dance floor, as she's got a brilliant piece of work with Groupon, which is going to let you get your groove on. We'll be having a bit of a natter too with Gary Wales about his forthcoming film Rage. We'll be hearing from Birmingham Youth Theatre about their production of Disco Inferno, which is on stage at the Crescent in the latter part of July. Plus, on top of that, we'll also be hearing what's going on at the Gatehouse. That's all on the way on the show this week. Gary A. Wales has been busily working on Rage. It's currently in post-production, and he joins me now to tell me more about what's happening. Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to catch up with you. What's been going on then? Because you've been busy filming, which has been great to get back to.
Yes, it has. It's been a long 2 years. I think the last time that I was on a film set was in Oklahoma in America, filming The Deal. And yeah, it's been a long time, but I don't know. It felt good. It felt really good. But yeah, no, Rage is now wrapped up. We're very proud of it. It looks amazing so far. I've seen some of the takes and stuff, and it does look really, really well.
And with what you've done already, there's obviously the work to do in post-production, and sound is going to play a big part of this too, because it's going to need atmosphere in the audio side to match what's on screen with the emotion that's there from the characters. So tell us a bit of the background.
Yeah, so the background of Rage, it's a short film based on domestic violence and drug abuse. We started creating, me and myself and David Penman, we started creating it about 3 years ago. And we didn't really get a chance to do it because of COVID hitting. So it was 2019 when we started it roughly. And then we were getting ready to start filming and stuff. And we just got shut down completely, which was horrible. But it gave us enough time to be able to like build up more and work on it a little bit better. But we got there eventually. The cast and crew have been absolutely amazing. We did recast a lot of the people, but the cast that we did that we have now is it's incredible. Like, really is.
Well, yeah, and this is reflected in the amount of interest there's been in this. So give me a few names, just so we can get an idea of the sort of caliber that we're talking here.
Yeah, so Lara Fullerton, she plays my wife Courtney. And Rage. My son, Bailey Penman, who's actually David's son, he's actually 13. Funny enough, that we all kind of look alike, which is quite scary, because obviously we had the family pictures and stuff like that. I'll need to share them with you. And yeah, it's quite scary how much alike we kind of look. Bailey's actually playing the younger version of me and Why Me, which is great. So he's such a fantastic little actor. Who else have we got? We've got Paul Lapsley. He's known in Scotland for his karate, his all that kind of stuff. He does all stunt work and stuff for movies and whatnot. There's just so many of us, you know. There's a lot to name. Michaela Sweeney, Barry Smith's in it. Paul Lee's in it. Yeah, Rosie Steele. She's from England.
I was going to suggest Rosie Steele you hadn't mentioned there, and I know is involved. And so it's a big film, but with a big message as well, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So we aim to raise awareness of domestic violence specifically. I know that since COVID started, there has been a 17.5% increase in domestic violence cases across the whole entire world. Obviously, due to the fact that we've been isolating and we've been stuck indoors, and it's been driving people nuts, which we can all relate to. It's been driving me nuts. But yeah, no, there's just been a huge increase. And I mean, it's just a perfect timing, especially once the entertainment industry opened back up again. It was just perfect timing for us to start rolling again, get it done and dusted, and get it released as soon as possible during, obviously, that we're still in the COVID pandemic situation, you know. So
Yeah, and obviously this is available now to pre-order on DVD. Delivery is expected a little later on this year. But I say,
Right.
but where can people go to pre-order? Because this is part of an Indiegogo campaign, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So you can go to Indiegogo, Indiegogo's campaign, which they actually featured Rage all of last week. They featured Rage on the front of the website. They featured it on every single Indiegogo campaign at the bottom as well. Like they've shown a lot of love and support for the campaign, which is incredible because I've never been part of a project that's never been featured on like a crowdfunding site before. And Indiegogo is such an established crowdfunding site; it really is. So it was definitely a big deal. And then obviously they shouted us out on social media. There was an article released on Indiegogo press site as well, which was great on the blog. And it basically gave a bit of a background of how Rage was made and shared some behind the scenes pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's I can't wait.
No, I say it is an emotional film and one which has a serious message and helps to explore a terrible situation that too many people find themselves in.
Right.
And through talking about domestic violence, this is how we can start to eradicate it from our community, isn't it?
You know, you can be sitting in your house one day and then suddenly you hear shouting happening from next door. You're wondering what's going on, and suddenly emergency services pull up, and you know, like something radical has happened next door, which you don't know what actually happened there, but that's what we want to show. We want to show what happens in that other house, which is quite scary. We took 3 days to film it, so it took a lot out of us. I think our longest filming day was about 16 hours. It was like there was times where I never got home until like 3:30 in the morning. It was just absolutely horrible. The third day, which was our last day, the next day morning, I actually woke up and I lost my voice.
Oh dear.
Due to all of the shouting and screaming that I had to do as part of the character in the police station. So that's quite an intense scene. I'm looking forward to seeing how, once that's edited all together, how it's actually came out. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I know you're obviously understandably immensely proud of all the work that you do. So we're looking for Rage, the movie on Indiegogo. You can check out the details there and on the website as well. Most importantly, we can find all the details through you and your socials. Give us all the details for that.
So my social media, everything is Gary A. Wales. You can find me on GaryWales.com, which is my website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. You'll find me. But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely.
We'll check out all the details of Gary A. Wales. Lovely to speak to you as ever, and we look forward to catching up soon, in particular because you've got a new project we'll be talking about in the not too distant future as well, won't we?
Definitely. Can't wait.
Birmingham Youth Theatre have Disco Inferno on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of July. Beth and Molly are two of the stars of the show who join me now to tell me all. Hello to you both.
Hello.
So, first of all, Beth, tell us a bit about how you came to be part of Birmingham Youth Theatre.
One of my good friends was part of the company and I came to watch the show a few years ago and I loved it, so I decided to join.
And Molly, obviously, the youth theatre itself is all about building confidence. Not everybody's expected to go and get a job in the theatre, but this is a blooming good grounding if you do decide to go that way, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
So, Disco Inferno itself, some great music, I'm going to guess. Who's going to tell me a bit about the show?
I'll do it. It's a 70s musical full of 70s songs, great dances, and a bunch of characters that you'll meet along the way.
And telling a story, but with some fab disco music. And obviously, it's all quite old to you guys. Is this like parents and grandparents here? It's probably grandparents, isn't it?
Yeah.
So have they been helping out, telling you how the moves work and things?
Of course, 100%.
So you're getting the whole family involved. And this is great for families to come along and see it with the kids. And this is taking place at the Crescent Theatre, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
What actually happens now then? People can get hold of tickets?
Yeah, they can call, they can go on the website.
I think if you just search in the Crescent Birmingham, then it should come up.
So you can get your tickets that way. And what have you each got a favourite song in the show?
My favourite song is probably Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
And some good choreography going along with that one.
Yes.
And my favourite is probably Kissing in the Back Row.
That's the Drifters originally, I think, wasn't it? So lots of great songs from yesteryear. And what are the outfits you all get to wear like? Are they sort of garish colours and flares?
Yes.
It must have been good putting all that together.
Yeah, it's been very good.
Yeah, we've had all the costumes made, so we've got loads of flares, loads of hippie type flower power stuff.
This is Caroline sneaking in, who looks after press. Hello.
Yes. So we've had great fun making costumes. We've got big wigs. We're going to go completely authentic.
And
I know you asked about the tickets.
Yep.
We've
got a flyer
here. So the ticket hotline, can I give you the phone number, Jason?
Give us the phone number, yeah.
Okay, it's 07375 080 558, or email contact@birminghamyouththeatre.co.uk, or you can get it through the Crescent Theatre.
Which Molly was telling us about. Just Google their website and you can get your details there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is exciting. And Caroline, I mean, it's great for all the kids and the families involved. And I mean, the Birmingham Youth Theatre does such great work. I've been to see shows in the past, and you can really see some of the students start to shine, can't you?
Oh, it's brilliant how they develop. We've got youngsters that have done sort of 14, 16 shows with us. I mean, last year was just devastating for theatre, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So we're so excited that we're one of the very few that have been able to get back, and we've been able to rehearse on Zoom and in Cannon Hill, and the members have been just fantastic. They've all engaged, they've all supported each other, over Zoom, haven't they? Because we weren't able to see each other for a long time. So, no, it's been really good. So we can't wait till next week. So this time next week will be our band call. So we will have our orchestra, and we'll be able to practice all the songs to live music, which, again, very exciting.
Girls, you looking forward to that?
Yes, definitely.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Break a leg, have a fantastic time doing the show, and we look forward to seeing you all there and really getting a chance to get back to theatre, because that's the fun bit, isn't it? Getting back into the theatre.
Yeah,
totally. And thank you for your support, Jason.
Always good to hear what the team are doing and find out what's happening with the Birmingham Youth Theatre and looking after kids from across the Midlands and having some great time appearing on stage in big real theatres, which I think is what that it's all about. It's great to have it as a professional production would be. So that's all good work from everyone involved. What's the web address for the Birmingham Youth Theatre if anybody does want to get involved in the next production?
Email is contact@birminghamyouththeatre.co.uk.
And of course, you can be found on Facebook as well, Instagram, and all the usual places, and you can see what's actually happening. For now, Beth, Molly, and Caroline, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
The Gatehouse in Stafford is preparing to reopen its doors with an interesting new look and a new marketing manager too. Keith Harrison joins me now to tell me more about what's happening. Hello, sir.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm very well, and nice to meet you. I hope we find you well.
Yeah, fantastic. It's just a fantastic time to be here. So I've only just started in the last few days, but it's what a fantastic time to come in. I wanted to get here before we reopened our doors next Friday. And to see it at the moment it's a bit of a building site still downstairs, but as each day goes by, more and more builders are leaving the building, and more is being revealed, and we are seeing this incredible new facility taking shape, and it just looks amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, many people from Wolverhampton head over to the Gatehouse in Stafford. You have many different shows to what we see at some of our local venues. So if somebody wants to see a particular performer, they will often head your way. And of course, you've been renowned for some fantastic pantos over the years too, which is always. I like to go and see virtually every panto in the area, and I know Stafford is always a joy to behold. But a busy time ahead. We've already had a chat with the team behind the fantastic music of Jim Steinman that's been brought to the stage. With that going on a little later on this year. But there's an awful lot happening down there once you kick back in on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we're kicking off with a couple of shows. We've got the auditions this weekend for the summer school, and then we're into Women in Chemistry. We've got the ELO story on the Saturday night, following that later this month. However, I think the real drama gets into play as we move into the season. We've got some big names. We've got Jason Manford, we've got Sarah Milliken, David Baddiel. But yeah, so we've got a real broad spectrum of people lined up for our summer and autumn shows, and something for everybody with the children involved as well. We've got horrible histories and things like that. We've got the Russian State Ballet coming in, which will be an amazing show. 2 nights of the Russian State Ballet, which will be incredible. So what we've done over the past 12 months while we've been closed, since March last year, is really we've made a virtue out of necessity, in as much that the work that's taken place downstairs in terms of the refurbishment and the redesign and the relayout of the entire sort of ground floor of the theatre, we wouldn't have been able to do that, I don't think, with people coming in for shows on a daily and weekly basis. So we've been able to sort of take this time, with help from the DCMS and the Arts Council, funding there, to be able to reimagine and redesign the theatre. And I love the theatre. I've been coming here for 30 odd years, and it's always been a big place in my heart for it. So I liked it no matter what it's looked like. But I think it probably was a bit dated. I think it probably did need a remodel and to a bit more the modern feel to it. And what's happened downstairs now is just incredible. People are walking through the doors, local people, and their first instinct is to say, wow. I know certainly when I walked through the door, my first instinct was to barely recognize the place. And I think that's going to be the same for a lot of people in Stafford when they come through the doors. There's a new layout, there's a new bar, there's a new cafe area, huge new box office. So we've moved away from having this small little box office that we had. And I think people will just start to see it as a jewel in the crown. I've always loved the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton, which is a fantastic theatre. I've had many great nights there. But I think now the Gatehouse is sort of, moving into that direction, and certainly the shows that we've got. And if we could rival our pals at the Grand and get people to see us in that light, that would be, amazing.
I think the two theatres which are easily have to complement each other, and of course you have people travelling from Stoke as well, and in Hanley they've got a wonderful theatre there that is so well loved by the community, as our theatres are, for exactly the right reasons. They're places that we go to escape our world and be entertained, and whether it's something that's slightly hard hitting that causes us to think about things, or whether it's a musical comedy show which just lightens our hearts. There is an awful lot there, and the Gatehouse, of course, has been part of the wonderful outdoor Shakespeare series, which we've missed out on in 2 years in a row now, and I'm hoping that's all going to be back in 2022.
Absolutely, and not just that, it's going to be our 30th anniversary production of the Stafford Shakespeare up at the Castle, Romeo and Juliet. So that's the big one. I always think it's, because I'm an old romantic, so that is the big one for me, Romeo and Juliet at the Castle, and we can't wait to get that back, because with the two really big things on our calendar really are the panto. So we've got Snow White, which I will talk about in a minute, and then the Shakespeare up at the Castle. And I think culturally these are huge things on the calendar for the people of Staffordshire, and people come from all over the place. When you see that the visitor books and the ticket sales for the Stafford Shakespeare up at the Castle, they come from all over the country for it. And I think that will continue to be the thing. And I think post-COVID as well, people like to get out, and people are looking to sort of have a big night out and put things in the diary for the next sort of 6-12 months ahead. And that's something to really look forward to.
Absolutely. So on to Panto then, because that is going to be what makes Christmas special for everybody this year. And
yes, it is.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no, oh no, it isn't that one. It's just going to be awesome. So give us the details.
Yeah, we've got Snow White. It's going to be the biggest Panto we've had in years. Now, I've worked in the media for 30 odd years, and I know theatres can sometimes say this every year. It's our biggest sales. It's the biggest thing we've ever done. So there's a little bit of cynicism about that in the media, but trust me, I've seen the figures, and there are first day sales of Snow White were for the theatre throughout anything it's ever done in the past. So this is going to be the biggest sort of selling panto, I'm sure, that we've had in years and years and years. We've moved away from what we've done in the past few years slightly, because we're going to have some, I can't say who, but we're going to have some recognisable names and faces and people in it that have been in some massive shows. I mean, some of the biggest shows on TV.
Well, you've had Corrie Stars, so you've got to try and beat that now, I take it.
Yes, yeah. But
Ian was fantastic last time round.
But we've got one or two people here who've been in, films, a very big TV show that then had a very big film. I can say no more.
Okay, we'll wait for the press releases on that.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to putting that out, and it's just going to be amazing. And the beauty of it is, Panto for me is the lifeblood of every theatre in the country up and down the land, provincial theatres, to sort of get people in for that Panto season at the end of the year is the highlight for any theatre. But for us to have such a huge production this year for it, and to see the ticket sales already going through the roof, people, some productions sort of 80% sold out already. If you look on our website. So, get your tickets in, get down to Stafford quickly, because I think it's going to be, the biggest and best Panto we've had for years.
Well, that's going to be something to look forward to. The whole schedule is available on your website. How do we find out more? Well,
two things. We have our new brochure program. This isn't going to work on radio, but I'm holding that up. And if people want to pop into the Gatehouse from next Friday when we're reopening. So next Friday is our big reopening day. We're going to have a bit of a ribbon cutting ceremony, and people will be able to come in and have a coffee, have a pastry, see the new look theatre. And one of the big things downstairs is that we're going to digital screens. So in the past, you'd get a lot of flyers and a lot of brochures and a lot of things like that. But we're trying to be more sustainable. We're trying to be a bit more ecologically responsible in what we're doing. So yes, while we do have the brochures, there's still got the brochures for people to come in and see. A lot of stuff is online. A lot of stuff when people come in will now be on digital screens, which in all honesty, give it a real life as well. And they give people, if they come through the doors and have a grab a coffee, they'll get a real taste of what these shows are like, because we're able to show moving images of them. So other than that, we're on Stafford Gatehouse Theatre.co.uk is our website. Everything is available there, and you book tickets for all the shows on there. The box office will be reopening 01785 619 080. And ideally, if you're in Stafford, if you're just popping by, pop in and see us. Come in and grab a coffee, see what the look of the new theatre. And I think people will be amazed by what we've done with the building. I say what the people have done with the building over the past 12 months, because an awful lot of hard work's gone into it, some fantastic design, and it looks like something which is now worthy of being the jewel in the crown of Stafford, which I've always thought the Gatehouse is.
Well, it's going to be great to be able to get back to theatres. Stafford Gatehouse is one of the ones I absolutely love in our region, and well worth getting along there to see some of the brilliant shows. And I say, I want to be down there for Panto launch day. We'll talk about that close to the time. But for now, Keith Harrison, Marketing Manager at the Gatehouse in Stafford, thank you for joining us.
Thanks ever so much.
Due to the amount of time since many people were last on the dance floor, everyone's feeling pretty rusty when it comes down to it. Somebody who knows how to get them back into shape when it comes to the dance routines is Cheryl Hole, who joins me now. Hello.
Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you. And I trust all is well in your world.
All is well. All is fabulous. All is safe more than anything. And that's all that we can ask for in these day and ages.
Absolutely. Now, you're dressed very much like Luke today rather than Cheryl. However, when you are completely glammed up to the nines, you're going to have your high heels on. But I know there's a lot of women and men out there who are a little bit concerned about getting back onto the stilettos.
Oh, for sure. Now, a recent survey and statistics shows that 78% of Brits are not prepared and ready for a night out. And I think it's all about a state of mind. It's all about a shift in how you are thinking and feeling. So I just think it's all about just going, I'm confident, I'm fierce, I'm fabulous, and I'm going to own this dance floor.
Absolutely. And when it comes to those moves, I mean, is there anything new that sort of happened during lockdown that's been like on the likes of TikTok, which are then going to make their way onto the dance floor once everything reopens around the 19th of July?
Well, I, for one, will not be partaking in any TikTok dances on the dance floor. We're leaving that on the app, and we're going to leave some real dance moves on the floor.
Okay, so aside of the death drop, what have you got lined up to wow people with?
I'm all about hands and armography, because when you're in a nightclub, you're not going to be kicking and throwing your legs around, especially when you're sardines in a can. So it's all about just working your hand and working your face and just being a fierce as diva.
Because it is a time to slay, and this is your chance to shine. And if people are looking for maybe a few tips, this is where you can come in and help out.
Oh, for sure. Now, I'm running a masterclass with all my tips and tricks, because us drag queens, we have got a tool belt full of tips and tricks that are just ready for any diva to apply to their night out rituals. Now, Groupon have put together this Get Your Glad Drag On masterclass where I'm going to be teaching people how to do a fierce makeup look, because 2/3 of women are not ready to put on their faces for the nights out, and it's all a bit of fine details. But other than that, we're going to do some makeup, we're going to do some dance classes, we're going to do a heels masterclass on how to walk in heels, because it's been a while and we're trading slippers for stilettos. And then finally we're gonna talk about flirting, because for the singletons out there, we're trading Tinder for the real life.
This is it. I mean, he's back to a real world. And say everything, we'll need to continue to think about what we're doing, make sure we're safe, make sure we're lateral flow testing to ensure we're not contagious with COVID before we head out. All of those things are there to help protect everybody. But then when it comes down to it, you've got to impress. And have you got a special outfit lined up for your next chance to be out there on the dance floor?
Oh, if only you could see the looks that I've got planned, my darling. I am ready to stunt.
Well, it is going to be an amazing thing to see people back out enjoying themselves. The nightclubs across the UK are, I think, ready for it, aren't they? I know in Wolverhampton, they're pretty much raring to get back, and it'll be keen to get everybody out there as safe as is possible. But if they want to bust their moves, Groupon have got this special masterclass that you're offering. How do we find out more, and how do they get tips from basically the best move maker in the market?
I wouldn't say I'm the best, maybe the third best. But no, if you want to find out how to get down to the masterclass and all things Groupon, you could go to groupon.co.uk/deals/glad drag.
So are you expecting not only the ladies to be learning the stiletto moves, but also a few of the fellas who are maybe thinking of dragging up when they go out?
I mean, gender is a construct and we're going to tear it apart. So anybody can throw on a pair of heels.
Well, if people want to get a taste of what else you've got going on, where can we find you on the socials?
I'm very universal with my socials, at Cheryl Hole Queen on everything.
Oh, Cheryl Hole, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my darling.
There is always plenty going on in the world of gazebo. A pandemic didn't even stop them working. To tell us more, I'm joined now by their artistic director and CEO, Pamela Hudson. Good afternoon.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, busy.
Last time we spoke, it was just before Christmas, and there was all sorts going on across the city. And as with Wolverhampton as a base, you can't go wrong, because we are full of creatives. And this is just proven by the brilliant work you guys keep doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
What is happening at the moment? Because I know you've recently had a run of things with the arena, but there's plenty more planned where that came from.
There is. So yes, we've just finished streaming our play Wanted. When the pandemic broke out last March, we were in the middle of our tour. So that got postponed. And then we've been streaming it from the arena, which has been hugely successful. And the great thing about that, we have people tuning in from all over the world, including Australia, Hong Kong, the Scilly Isles, Seattle. So it's meant lots of people have been able to see it that probably wouldn't have been able to.
You're now a global theatre company.
We actually are. How exciting is that? I'll use that.
That's well worth it.
So that's just been happening. And what's very exciting is we're actually going to publish the play as well. Mm-hmm. So that can be a resource for students, for drama schools as well, because there's so many great female roles in there. And of course, it's written by 3 women. So that's really exciting. In other news, so we have just now become an OCN West Midlands registered centre.
Go on, and give what the OCN, what's that mean?
Open College Network.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we can now do proper qualifications. So that's really exciting. We have 11 Kickstart jobs we are advertising at the moment.
Yeah, no, I noticed this. You seem to be taking on an awful lot of people, which is brilliant news. And it's aimed at the younger part of our communities as well, because these are roles which, yes, they are jobs, but they're going to give some fantastic experience and continued learning.
Absolutely. So these are for 16 to 24-year-olds who are claiming universal credit. And this is part of us making sure that our young people get the opportunities they deserve after the awful past year and a half that we've had. So we have jobs including actors and dancers and film production assistant, administrators, people to work with young people. It's really exciting opportunity. And these are 6 months paid jobs.
Yeah.
Plus they get training, plus they get to do qualifications through our new OCN status. So that's really exciting. We also have a project called Stand Out as well. Got a leaflet here actually for it. Get ready to play your part. So we are the partner, Wolverhampton partner, with West Midlands Combined Authority for a lottery funded project, which is all about making sure our young people get the opportunity to take part in the Commonwealth Games in terms of volunteering and jobs and training. It's such an exciting global thing will be happening. It's in Birmingham. There's an event in West Park, Wolverhampton.
Yep. It is coming to our city, isn't it? So yeah,
it is. So we want to make sure our young people get a look in. They've promised that this will be the most diverse games ever. So part of our job is to make sure that that happens. The window for volunteering is open at the moment, but it won't stay open for that long. So our first job is getting the word out and getting as many people signed up to volunteer as we can. And then following that, we will help people apply for jobs and apply for the training that will be on offer throughout next year. So that's a really exciting project as well.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. And again, it's about getting training and education to the people who need it. And you decided with these 16 to 24-year-old roles, they might be a bit stuck in a rut. They might not know what they're going to do next. They may not even have thought of using the skills they already have and develop them into something new with the opportunities that are here. So yeah, it is about reaching those people. And if somebody knows someone who fits into that group, or somebody listening at the moment is somebody who would benefit from any of these plans and wants to be part of the arts, because we know how important the arts are. That's a thing that's kept us as sane as we can be over the last 18 months. They need to get in touch with Gazebo, don't they?
100%. And the Stand Out project is 18 to 30-year-olds. So, all across the whole of Wolverhampton, it's a big reach. The other thing that we have in the summer is a whole summer of activities. We know that our young people and our families have missed out on so much over the last year. This summer, 5 weeks, free activities for young people and families that live in Bilston or attend a Bilston school. There are activities going across the city, but they'll be through other Head Start providers. For ourselves, we're working in Bilston. We've got circus skills, make a music video, nature as well. We're looking at nature and how we grow things, all outside. So we're making use of our spaces, Hickman Park, Braidley Centre, out here at God's Acre outside the Gazebo Hub. So this will be COVID safe activities and lots of fun and completely free. So people do need to register beforehand because we want to make sure the groups are, a safe size. So like with everything else, we can be contacted on info@gazebotheatre.com or by calling 01902 296 199. And of course, our social media is really busy. So we make sure we're putting everything out all the time for people to follow what's going on as well.
Yeah, there is absolutely loads going on. And a great group of people to work with. I know the events that I've touched on when we've been there, it's always a joy to speak to you and any of the team, and just so many years of experience that everyone's so willing to share. And I think that's what we miss out in a lot of cases, isn't it? Sometimes you get people, oh, I can do that, I'm not going to let on how it's done, or that's not the case with the Gazebo. This is all about making sure that these skills are passed on generation to generation and within peer groups as well, to make sure you're getting the absolute best out of everything that you do.
100%. And we've got people that work as part of our full-time team now who were part of groups we ran when they were children. We're a kind of company that we hope is around for people at all stages of their lives. You know, we've been going for 42 years. We've kept going through this pandemic, you know, and this is the start of the next chapter for us as well, of even more exciting things, we hope. So, you know, we plan to be here for many years to come and to keep giving people those opportunities.
Give us all those contact details again and the socials.
The email address is info@gazebotheatre.com. You can also call us on 01902 296 199. And in terms of our socials, we are on Twitter at Gazebo Theatre. We're on Facebook at Gazebo Theatre and on Instagram at Gazebo Theatre UK. We will be setting up some TikTok things soon, but we're going to wait till our young new social media assistants come on board through the Kickstart scheme, because we know they'll be the ones to help us with that.
Well, plus it means that it's got their stamp on it to start off with, and not picking up something and not sure where to tread their feet. They know they're creating from the outset, and that is, again, the ethos of Gazebo. It's creating and giving someone the chance to show off what they can do, but also learn how to do it as they go along, because there's always support as part of the plan. Well, when can we next see a thing somewhere publicly with you guys that's is a bit of an event, do we think?
Well, obviously through the summer we have all of our activities.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of our next performance, hot off the press, because nobody else knows this yet.
Ooh.
On the 12th of October, Wanted, the film, will be streamed and on the cinema screen at the Core Theatre in Solihull. So that's really exciting that people will be able to watch it on the big screen, as well as on their smaller TVs. That's hot off the press. That's our next kind of event. But I am sure as we get to the autumn and things get a little bit safer, we will have more news to announce as well in terms of performances.
Well, it's going to be awesome. Please tell me we can talk next time we've got some news, which I'm sure won't be too far away, knowing you guys. And we will catch up then.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Pamela Hudson, Artistic Director and CEO of the Gazebo. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rob Kemp, comedian, not having had an audience for the last, 12, 18 months has probably not been good for him, because comedians need audiences. They also need conditioner as well, I think, but that's another story. He joins me now to tell me more about what's going on in his world, as he looks like a Weller commercial. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. As you can see, I've just stepped out of my bed.
Comedians keep funny hours at the best of times, let alone when you're not gigging as much as normal. But you're back to the gigging. You're appearing out there in real life, and once again wowing audiences. What exactly are you up to, sir?
Oh well, I've got some new stand-up. Unsurprisingly, I mean, weirdly, loads of people have. It's weird because everyone's been doing the same thing, which you'd think would make it a shared experience, but it also makes it a very tiresome lived experience that nobody wants to be thinking about or hearing about. So it's a weird sort of, oh, hey, guys, we all understand each other once again, and yet we can't really talk about it. Maybe we can, I don't know. So I've got some stand-up about that. Got a character that I've been working on that is essentially a head teacher that's had a bit of a nervous breakdown.
You've reached the age where you now look like a head teacher. That's a good start.
I've got the worry lines and the crow's feet and everything. I'm getting some grey as well. He basically tells the kids how it is in the real world, and just sort of gives them some home truths about how hard life can be, rather than going, go get them. He's saying, you're probably going to have a horrible time, which is lovely. This is lovely. So there's that. I am possibly I'm talking to a venue at the moment about going back up to Edinburgh this year for maybe a week to do the Elvis show again.
Yeah,
so that'd be a good late night thing for a bit of fun.
And it always proves popular.
Yeah, I'll need a haircut for that though. And I'm also doing my new show, which is a confessional, personal storytelling show about it's about transvestism. Mm-hmm. It's about sometimes wanting to be a pretty lady and how that's not weird. or rather just wanting to be pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty lady. Sometimes just wanting to be pretty, and that is okay, and that there are other people that do that, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. And I hopefully have made that funny.
But funny without being offensive, which is an interesting line to try and follow, isn't it?
Well, I mean, so I think if you're advertising yourself as an edgy comedian, someone who's, if that's your line, people don't go to see Frankie Boyle to agree with him on everything and to not go, they want him to say the unsayable, but to say shocking things. They want to hear that. So it's, I mean, again, though, as much as he appears to be saying terrible, terrible things, you can see from his Twitter and from generally his interviews and everything, he's actually a pretty groovy guy. He's
a really nice bloke, actually, when he comes down to it. And what he's doing, he's challenging, not offending.
Exactly. He's not encouraging any kind of bigotry. He's just challenging ideas. Yeah. So
and often calling out bigotry by saying something which actually, if you know it's a joke, you laugh along with. If you're a bigot, you suddenly cause everyone to realise you're a bigot.
Well, exactly. It's that Al Murray thing, isn't it? It's the whole. He unfortunately is treading a line where not all of his fans are his fans for the right reasons. Something, But yeah. So again, treading the line is eminently possible. The headmaster thing is I've got some bleak bits in that, and I'm intentionally being quite horrible and bleak. Which I think stands in contrast to me as a person. I mean, it's not for me to say.
You always seem to have a relatively silly disposition. I've never known you not be in a good place, whether that's a front or otherwise. Is one of those things, isn't it? But you certainly you always come across as somebody who is affable. Is a good way of putting it. I mean, rascallian sometimes as well.
Yeah, crying inside, Jason, all the time, crying inside.
Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say I did some theatre, did some legitimate acting recently as well, which is quite nice.
That's unusual. Comedians seem to be getting into that. Well, I wouldn't class Doctor Who as legitimate acting sometimes, but there seems to be a lot of it about at the minute.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, the thing is, as much as I know there are acts that are honestly, truthfully freestyling their whole stuff, very few acts do that. And even though there's some freedom within their material, it nearly always is essentially painting from a palette. That's an Eddie Izzard thing. It's not about she's not about having a palette of ideas and then to just go from that. Most people don't do that. Most people have almost a script. And so when you come down to it, once you've learnt your monologue, getting the right sort of peaks and troughs of energy and making sure that you evoke the right things at the right time. It is acting, essentially. It's just the end goal isn't necessary. Like the whole idea of saying something to an audience and not wanting to get a laugh immediately, that's weird.
I didn't do understand it, but when it comes to each of these different shows, though, I mean, it's going to be an interesting approach. I mean, to go from the Elvis dead to talking about wanting to be pretty. I mean, I suppose Elvis had his pretty moments.
Oh, it's a very handsome man. Very, very handsome man. I mean, very handsome man. I guess. I mean, but then the thing is, right? If the show was, if the horror show was The Thing, for instance, and I was doing my Kurt Russell and I got long hair and I got a beard, that would be difficult that would be more difficult to do the other show. But the fact is, if I've got shorter hair anyway and I've got no beard on, then, by the way, I appreciate this is a very narrow view but it is what I'm trying to present. So, is it difficult? I think I'm going to need a bigger suitcase. That's about all it means. It means I'm going to need a bigger suitcase and I'm going to spend a lot more time getting ready for shows. But both shows requiring an element of getting ready. I've got before doing that show, and doing anything in Edinburgh, I've got the dressing show in Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody would like to see my attempt at Pretty, and also my attempt to have learned an hour monologue, because my shows so far have been quite technologically based. I've had like backing videos and PowerPoints, and it's all been very quite skitty or musical or whatever. So the very fact that this is a monologue with not a lot of gimmicky, and I say that with love, I don't mean gimmicks are bad. I just mean like it is very much a person talking to more people. So yeah, if you want to come and see how that's coming along on the 27th of July, I'll be doing that at the Firebug in Leicester on a double bill with Harriet Kemsley. So it's on its way. It's sort of, I'm working on it. It's too long at the minute. I've got to edit some stuff out.
But that audience will be part of that process, though. And I think that's important. It's great always going to see a comedian when they're developing work, and they're developing work, to see how it sort of gestates into something bigger and even better than the great starting point you've got it to be prepared to put it in front of an audience. Well,
I mean, you'd hope so. You'd hope so. Because it is a symbiotic relationship. You can't, very few people, I mean, I'm not saying never, but very few people take the finished product out and go, hey guys, here, great, isn't it? Frequently, because you've got to allow for the sort of nuance of every individual crowd, and there's always going to be people in there who just don't get it, and that's okay, because you've got to either tease that out, or you've got to choose a line of specific niche interest, or you've got to sort of open it up and be more broad.
So when you're on stage with this monologue, is it you or is it a character? How do you sort of balance that out?
Well, this is different to anything I've ever done because it's very personal. Like I have always... Okay. Yeah, I have previously... Everything is always tangentially related to me and my life. Because, of course, it is. You write what you know, right?
Yeah.
But I never quite as directly spoken about personal experience and my life so directly. So, no, it's me. It's definitely me.
Because I mean, I've seen you on your Facebook page and so talking about you and the different sides of you that we see and the different appearances that you have when you want to do that, and that isn't something I ever considered to be anything other than just Rob.
Oh, okay. Oh well, yeah. Well, you see that. You see now, right. This shows that it's more of a. It shows that it's more of a internal, personal issue that I need to get around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not the same as, but imagining like a claustrophobia or a fear of heights or whatever. That you're safe on that balcony, but on the quiet internally, you can't get your head through the logic of it. So I know that my friends and family aren't going to immediately reject me and turn me into some kind of pariah. I know that because I am not worth more, but their opinion of me is not based. Essentially, I don't hang around with bigots.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, that's the way we always lead our life, unless there's a club for them, in which case they can go off and be merrily whoever they are, and we can avoid them.
Yeah, of course. So I do know that, but there is that dissonance of the thought process where, as much as you might know something, you can't. You're still. I'm not going to lie. It was fear. It was. Mm-hmm. I can't just. I can't say that. Essentially, I was wandering around in my life without anyone knowing this, and I was getting along just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you go, well, actually, I'm not living my life entirely how I want to. And then you go, yeah, but I'm going to upset the apple cart here. I'm going I'm gonna change people's perceptions of me for better or for worse, and that's gonna have its impacts on my life, probably, I guess. And as it turns out, almost universally, it has had zero effect. The people that care about me knowing that sometimes I like a frock hasn't made any impact at all. There was one person who didn't react well to it, a friend, and we're not close anymore. I would still greet him. We would still be friends, but it's like I don't need that sort of energy. I'm not, I don't need that. Yeah, no, I'm not going to apologise for that. I don't need that energy in my life. Obviously the people who were super close to me, there was maybe either they were super groovy or they were possibly a little concerned, but more for my safety in regards to how other people would perceive it. Essentially, they were having the same fear that I talked about, but they were having it like super condensed, and like suddenly I've had many years to think this over and to sort of get my head around what I want to do and how I feel about it, and they haven't. They've suddenly had this. I don't know if they had any idea. Like there was me thinking, oh god, they know, and they're like, actually no. If they didn't know, then I've literally just dumped this whole new facet of myself onto them, and they've got to deal with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, or just not deal with it. I mean, I'm not in any way doing anything down, but whatever outfit anybody wants to wear, that is up to them. I've got some pretty garish trainers, and I'm not. I don't care who judges me for that.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, Jason, and I know what you mean, but
still offensive when I say it.
No, what I mean is that essentially there are some streets in this world that I could walk down wearing something non-traditional for my birth gender.
Yes.
That would get me beaten up. And
that is a concern, isn't it? And the fact that they exist is a worry.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I'm not trying to belittle the example you gave. But
no, I was joking slightly.
Of course. You probably weren't anticipating a conversation about identity at this time of the morning.
Cool.
Yeah. So, as much as I know, this is the conversation that I've had to have with myself quite a lot. It's just clothes. What does it matter? What is lovely to see is that this is possibly an issue that is dying in terms of an attitude, because the youth of today, they're all pretty groovy, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like that. No one knows what anyone is, and it's amazing.
It's a sign I'm getting old. I can't tell the gender of most kids that I see in the street. That's also not true. But it is like that, isn't it? And the best is it doesn't matter. That's the thing. As long as everybody
definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, as long as everyone who wants to get with whomever gets with whomever, and everyone's consensual, and you get to wear whatever outfit you want at the same time, really isn't a thing. And it's but. From the conversation point of view that you're going to have as part of this show, actually, it's quite refreshing, though, to see somebody who's going to stand up there and just talk about it, and it is just going to be normal because it is just normal for you.
Yeah, I was very aware of the fact. I mean, trying to figure out the marketing for this show is not a nightmare, but it's a tightrope, because I want the poster to be striking, but I don't want it to evoke drag show, because it's not a drag show, and I don't want it to be. It's a conversation with a human. It's not a conversation. It is a diatribe. I normalising is my intention and my goal, because essentially what provoked my wanting to talk about it, other than the fact that it's been buzzing around for a long time, is the fact that my friend has got a son who's started to show some interest in some traditionally feminine things. And then I just for a moment there thought, hang on a minute, I know what that feels like, and I don't want him to feel the same. And obviously I now know that everyone, they're fine. but I wasn't okay to sit back and let him potentially go through the same thing as I had, which I needn't have if I'd have just been a bit braver. And I accept that. Thing is, I think that I'm talking about this for me at the right time. You know,
and you might be talking about it for somebody else at the right time too. But I mean, we still have the concerns around the sort of press. I mean, you mentioned Eddie Izzard earlier on, and their press can sometimes not always be painting just an acceptance. It's sometimes it's very often highlighted as a thing rather than just being something and nothing at the same time.
Of course, I mean, his previously before she came out as transgender, I mean, the fact that she's got to tell you, the fact that anyone has to tell you, know what I mean? Like, so what? You're encountering a being of thoughts and ideas and feelings, and this is you accept them on their terms, regardless of what that is, you know. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Book me in, Jason. We'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
The thing is, when prior to that outing, Eddie always said that she was an action transvestite, and there was a sort of a celebration of it. But also it was for me, seeing it, it was joyous because it was someone truly being themselves and not caring what anybody else thought. But as you say, it was made a feature of. It was it was a very short list, transvestite comedian. You know, like if you said that in a the transvestite comedian, you know, that one.
It would be
Eddie Izzard.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there are others, but I mean, that's the one that people would be groping for. It wouldn't be because Eddie Izzard's a massive name. This is off the point. Yeah, I accept that. I don't want to. It's not I'm not being critical here. I'm just saying that it was a feature rather than not noteworthy. And I think that says more about us, the society and our society and all that, than it does about what Eddie was doing at the time or whatever. And that's cool. That's all right. That's I'm not. It's okay. So I mean, part of me wishes that I'd been born 20 years later now, because then it was like, oh yeah, hey, everything's cool. Let's just do this. But then there's loads of things that I've enjoyed on the way. So
yeah, life is always an interesting balance of things, and I think again, it's reflecting on that and talking about it that can really make some good points and get everyone smiling along at the journey that you've had to where you are and to do what you're doing. And there's still an amount of bravery in that, from exactly the reasons that we've talked about, and the fact that you couldn't walk down every street in the UK being who you are, and not, I don't just say wish to be, just who you are on that day, that is a concern. And the more the conversation is had, the fewer of the idiots out there get to have a voice, which is the good thing. Let's stifle their conversation by pointing out everyone else going, yeah, this is just cool. It is. We accept it. And again, accept's the wrong word. It should be understand and just work along with, shouldn't it?
I would give you an elbow bump or a fist bump or a high five right now if I could, Jason. Yes, exactly.
That's the way it is. Right, okay, let's get on to the plugging this stuff properly then. So websites and the like, please, sir.
Okay, well, okay, right. So I've it's kind of a show situation at the moment because obviously everything's just slowly opening back.
Is something going on? Has there been a thing? Oh yeah, there has, hasn't there? That thing.
There has been a thing.
Yeah.
So it's more of a show by show situation. I've got that one in Leicester coming up at the end of this month. That's at the Firebug on the 27th of July, and that is that is a double bill with Harriet Kemsley, who is excellent. So come marvel at my honesty and watch me get emotional, and then be amused by her first. And I've got some new material stuff in because that was the priority for me, building up to this. But where I've got some kids comedy coming up in kids comedy at the Assembly in Coventry, the Piccolo tent.
I'm glad to see that you're finding out about this for the first time as we are too, so that's good. Should we look at your Instagram or something to see when you've posted stuff, or your Facebook page? Would that be simpler?
Yeah, that's what I do. I put it on there, and then, I mean, I've got a page. I've got a Rob Kemp page.
Have you got a website as well? Is the robkemp.com out there or something?
There is, but I don't own it.
Okay.
there's I've got a Rob Kemp page that's my comedy page, and I continually forget that it exists. And I'm always posting about gigs on like my own Twitter and on like Instagram and Facebook and that, but I never remember to put it on the page. But yes, so it's essentially @RobotKemp is my handle on pretty much every media. So it'll be there. And I imagine if you just search my name, Rob Kemp, you'll find any gigs that are coming up. It would be lovely to see you there. If you are somebody who has wrestled with these sorts of things like I have, then come say hey and let's have a chat, and hopefully we'll all feel better going forward. And if not, and that's not you, come say hi anyway.
Is it a bit just anyone to say hello? You've missed people.
It's been a very isolating year, hasn't it? So
it has.
Let's get licking each other's faces.
No, well, maybe not go that far. We'll get somewhere with that. Rob, always a joy to speak to you. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Hopefully in real life, and maybe even at a show.
Yeah, man. Nice to see you. Take it easy.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 630 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.